Breaking right now, there's a bill proposal that would expand the death penalty for people convicted of raping a child under the age of 12. House Majority Leader William Lamberth is proposing this. The bill would strengthen the existing state law by increasing the penalty for rape or aggravated rape of a child. Representative Lamberth says this would help build on the General Assembly's efforts to improve public safety and hold criminals accountable. In just a few moments, our Marissa Sulik will have more on lawmakers' expectations for the general session, which starts tomorrow.